What's going on, baby? Welcome back to the House of Nerd Show. It's episode. What episode we on here, Mike?
106. And then what you told me?
106, my man.
You told me 106. So,
there we go.
Yeah, 106.
Episode 106, baby. Live in full effect with my main man, Marklin. How you doing, buddy? It's been.
Hey, bro, I'm blessed to be alive, healthy, happy, prosperous, free. You're right, man. It's been a while, man. You know, because I was on the trip and then you were out when I came back, and you know, but we back.
We're back, baby. We're back. We're live in full effect, man. And we got like a super packed show for you guys this week, man. I don't even, what are we covering today, Mark? We're covering Gun Honey, Blood for Blood. What else are we getting into?
We're doing Gun Honey. We're talking about Copper Drop. For last week, we're doing the new picks for this week. We got Wu-Tang. I mean, we got a fun-filled show for y'all today, man. You know, you got to throw the Wu up. Here's
the Wu-Tang. Yo, that's what I was about to ask. Hit me with that. One time.
I'm from New York, man, but you know, I gotta love the clan, though, man. I gotta love the clan.
Hey, listen, I'm Toronto, baby. I'm not from New York, but you know what, man? The Wu-Tang season 3 of American Saga got me hyped, man. That shit was so good, so dope. So we're gonna get into that. Yes, and then we're also, I think we're gonna give you guys a sneak peek at The Sickness, which is an upcoming book from Lonnie Nadler and Jenna Cha. We're gonna get into that shortly. FOC for that bad boy is on Monday. Man, did I miss anything? All Eight Eyes, Copper Drop.
That was a Copper Drop from last week. Mm-hmm.
Comic Spotlight, Gun Honey, man. So all kinds of stuff, man. So we're excited to be here with you guys. That's right, episode 106. Who do we got in the house? We got the Spoiler Kings. What's going on?
They held it down with us last week, man. Yeah.
I was able to catch a little bit of that.
Brian were on there with us last week. You know, 2/3 of the Spoiler Kings. And I had to go over there to their site, their YouTube, and look at some of their reviews. I looked at Brian's review for Picard. We were talking about Picard last week, so I went and looked at. I think he did episodes 6 through 9 or something like that. I think I looked at that, and so I'm waiting to hear what he has to say about episode 10.
The car? I haven't heard of that, man.
It's Star Trek Picard.
The Star Trek car?
Star Trek Picard, like Captain Picard has his own show.
Man. Picard. Yeah. Oh,
yeah, Star Trek Picard. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I mean, just to touch on, I've been hearing good things about the Star Trek stuff. So I haven't checked any of it out, but
they have set a whole new standard for streaming Star Trek. And really, Strange New Worlds had done that the year before, and they just stayed and just went with it. So Strange New Worlds getting to come back in June. So I'm curious to see what they're gonna do now.
Okay. So Star Trek, I might have to check that one out. We got Amanda W. What's going on, Amanda? Good to see you. It's been a while. I feel like I haven't seen all of you guys in quite some time, man. Amanda coming to us from the West Coast, Canada. You know, so I appreciate the early riser. Yeah, man. And Spoiler King saying episode 10, I guess, of Picard was perfect. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I think he said he's going to get ready to drop it. I'm curious to see what's going to happen because, you know, it got so big, Sergio. They actually played episodes 9 and 10 in IMAX at certain major US6.
Wow, really, eh?
Yeah.
It's like that.
It's like that, man.
It's like that. Okay, listen, you've piqued my interest, man. Is this how many seasons are we talking about that I gotta kick up?
To be clear, it's 3 seasons of Picard, but we're talking about the 3rd season, which is a direct sequel to the Next Generation, Star Trek Next Generation. So you can kind of get by not watching the first 2 seasons of Picard if you're not a purist. You know, I'm a Trekkie. I'm gonna watch all 800 episodes of Star Trek.
Yeah. Okay, listen, man, I'm gonna have to check that out because, you know, I grew up on a little bit of the Next Generation because of my old man. My pops used to love that show. So, I mean, just from that. So I might have to, and then you know what? IDW, Markland, they're doing a big Star Trek event on the comic book side of things this summer. I don't know if you heard the news.
You hit me because I read IDW Star Trek. I started with like year 5 of the original series. No, I started with, IDW was doing a Star Trek comic book based off of the movies that started in 2009.
Right.
And they were basically redoing old Star Trek episodes in the comic books with those actors and actresses from the movies, the 2009 series movies.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah, and then they did like a thing where they said, okay, we're going to show you the final year, the original 5-year mission.
Right.
And the new Star Trek series with my favorite captain, Benjamin Sisko from Deep Space Nine, when he came back, and they spun that off into another book of Worf is in charge of Defiant.
So that's pretty cool. And then listen, Marklin. So IDW, I'm looking at the press release here. They're billing it as the deadliest star date in Star Trek history arrives in July with the epic Day of Blood storyline. So and it looks like we've got Roth, or we've got Khan on the cover here, man.
Oh snap! Okay,
yeah.
You might tempt me to actually write a review for that for the House of Nerd website right there. You might tempt me on that.
My man, I was just about to hear you. I said, listen, this is the perfect, because we get the advanced review copy. So, man, I feel like it's time, baby. It's time to get you on that website.
Man, I need to get on the website. I need to get my byline on, bro. Get my byline
on. Okay. Hey, listen, guys. Speaking of the websites, man, I did wanna flex on some of the dope content provided to us by the amazing creators, the amazing team over at the House of Nerd Show.com. Let me get this banner down here, man. Everybody knows this one. Oh, and I guess I might as well hit this one. The obligatory. Please remember to smash the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff if you aren't already, man. I know most of you are. You guys are real ones. Speaking of real ones, what we got here in the house? We got Cookie.
We got Cookie.
And you know what? I love when Cookie jumps in the chat because she always reminds me. I got my coffee. There we go.
See, I'm not a coffee drinker. You see, I'm pre-show. I was drinking my bottle of water. You make me some coconut water, maybe some tea. When I was on the cruise ship, I drank a lot of tea. Like I said, I get the teacup and get the little steep it myself.
Okay, a little bit of tea. Okay, you all right? That's okay, man. I'm with that. Ruben too. Gracias, hombre, reminding me. Coffee is life, baby.
Coffee is life. I feel like I've
heard that. Hold on. Sharing the same sentiments. Coffee. There we go.
Coffee is life. Well, I mean, it is definitely considered a commodity on the stocks and exchange market. It must be people like y'all.
Listen, man, coffee is like gold, man, these days. Just by the way, folks, invest in bullion. It's on the rise. Well, it's always a good investment. Who do we got? Who else we got here? We got Juanito JP. Juan in the house. Good morning, you beautiful and talented heathens. Oh, okay. Beautiful and talented heathens. I don't know how to say that, but
I gotta rebuke that. In the name of Jesus, I gotta rebuke that. But I understand the sentiment behind it. It's like when I went to my homeboy's bachelor party, he said, "We're finna go into a den of iniquity right here."
Okay. What was Swan saying over here? He's saying, listen, I don't know anything about anything y'all talking about today, so I might just be listening to not saying anything today. Just being real with y'all. Hey, that's okay, my man. Whenever you wanna chime in, feel free to. Or hey, come on the live, man. Just hang out with us for a minute. Let me know, man. I'll drop the link, bro. But yes, thank you to everybody who's joining us, hanging out with us today on this beautiful Sunday, man. Where was it? I did wanna share real quick. We got so much to get to, but I did want to share real quick some of the recent articles, again by the great team that we got over at houseofnerdshow.com. It's live, baby. It's live.
It's live, right? And I love how y'all building this out, man, because it reminds me of Sergio, you remember Comic Shop News? Did you ever get that up there? It was like
I still get the flyers every week.
Yeah, the Comic Shop News. That's what it reminds me of, man.
Hey, I'll take it. That's a great comparison, man. Thank you, man. Yeah, you know, we want the House of Nerd Show to become one of the spots that you know the community, the fine folks, you know, go to get their comic book reviews and news and all that good stuff. So over here, I guess there was a Star Wars celebration.
You know, Star Wars celebration is coming up soon, anyway. You know,
yeah,
big one.
Yeah, it was a couple of weeks ago. We got Morgan Simmons with a recap of what went down. Oh, okay, and then we're talking about Indiana Jones, First Jedi sequel. So I mean, some good stuff for the Star Wars fans out there, for the Star Wars fandom. Trying to see what else we got here. Oh, hey, Marklin, did you hear? Did you hear about the TMNT Stranger Things crossover?
I did hear about that, man. I literally just saw that on Twitter, and I'm like, okay. And then I see you already got it right there. Cool.
Hey, man, we're on top. We're on top of the game. We're on top of the game.
But you know, it's weird because Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is doing a crossover with Power Rangers right now. And I got the first issue. You know, sometimes like my LCS, and you look at the last week's episode, they were like, this came out. I was like, man, my LCS didn't have none of that. But I'm also roughly 2 to 3 weeks behind on comics too. So I kind of lost my momentum on it, you know. But I love how they kind of just crossing toward turtles with different properties.
I feel like right now there's a big push, there's a big resurgence in TMNT. So you mentioned the other crossover, the crossing over with Stranger Things property this summer. They've got the upcoming video game, right?
Yeah.
You know, based on like the God of War gameplay. It's supposed to be like a AAA level video game. So like they're going all out on that. They've got the Mutant Mayhem movie. I want to say it's this summer.
Yeah, there's a movie coming out this summer because I remember the trailer dropped. I think we talked about the trailer on the show. I think I was on the show that day. We talked about it.
Yeah, right. So I mean, there's a lot going on with the TMNT property, man. So they're on the come up, man. You know, a bit of a resurgence for sure, man. What else we got? Jaron Irvin wrote a great little write up on the Superman, the Adventures of Superman teaser. You know, the trailer dropped recently, man. So you know, again, lots of great content, folks. Check it out, man. Here, let's just check out one more thing here. The Seasons Have Teeth #1 that dropped. I want to say that dropped last week, right?
It did because we talked about that last week. We did talk about it on the show last week, you know, and you know, Brian and Tank had some interesting things to say on L. You know, I was the lone dissenter, and I was like, I enjoyed it, but it was a drop for me. They were like, no, I want to copy it and see what happens next. You know, it was kind of the reverse of what happened when you would be a Monarch.
Marklin, I'm gonna have to rewatch and check out your thoughts now because I don't think I've ever seen you drop a book, man. So I'm very curious now.
I mean, it's rare. It's rare. I want to drop a book because, you know, as my sister said, I'm an addict, so I rarely want to give up anything. And it's like, you know, what I said was, sir, I said, you know, I would drop it and probably come back and read the whole thing in completion. That's what I said I would do.
Okay.
You know, because some things just read better in one sitting. They do, you know. And some things you're going week to week, like I can't wait to see what happens next, you know, or month to month.
I'm with you there, Marklin. Honestly, man. So there you go. The Seasons Have Teeth #1, a review written by Jeff Zombie, man. So folks, yeah, lots of dope content there for you guys to check out, man. houseofnerdshow.com. Go ahead, check it out, you know, and we're gonna be doing some different stuff with that site too. Hey, shall we get into, Marklin, a little bit of comic talk? What should we get into right now?
Hey, man, it's the House of Nerds. You know we gotta hit that comic talk, bro. We got to.
Right. I think it's that time, folks. Here we go, folks. Copper drop. I love it. Copper drop. Hey, listen, Marklin, why don't you hit the people for those who might be watching on a replay or might be new to the segment, hit it with a little explanation. What are we doing here with Copper Drop? What do we do?
Hey man, Copper Drop is a we pick a comic, man. We talk about that comic, and Sergio and the other hosts usually have a selection, and then whatever book gets the most votes, that's what we're gonna read for the next week, and then we decide whether that's gonna be a cop, which we're gonna keep reading it every week or every month it comes out, or we're gonna drop it. And it get hot and heavy in Cop and Drop, man. Sergio is he says he's the reigning champion for winning cops. So you win the vote, and you said your books get cop. Is that what you're trying to say?
Hey, listen, I'm not saying my record speaks for itself. I bring the heat. Of
course, Sergio also been here longer than anybody else too. So,
hey, listen. So last week, you guys voted for all 8 eyes number 1. It's voted by the community. All 8 eyes number 1, published by Dark Horse Comics. On writing duties is Steve Fox. On art, Piotr Kowalski. On colors, Brad Simpson, and lettered by the great 𝐜𝐸𝐷𝐿𝐻. And listen, in all honesty, it feels like I read this issue like at least a month ago now, man. We were lucky enough. Steve hooked us up with the advanced review copy, and I actually got to read the first 2 issues.
What? Okay, I read the first one. I didn't know we had the second one available. You just sent it to me, man.
Man, you gotta. I'm dropping the notifications.
You'll be having stuff, Sergio. I like send this to me, man.
I held it out. But listen, all 8 eyes, Dark Horse Comics. Yes, it dropped this past Wednesday. So we're here to share our thoughts and let you guys know if it's something worthwhile to keep on reading. You see, and listen, before we get into it, look at that great James Stokoe variant cover on the right there. Great stuff. So I'm gonna hit you guys with just a quick synopsis here on all 8 eyes, and then we'll share our thoughts here. If I can find it. There we go. So this brand new series reunites the team of Fox, Kowalski, colors, Brad Simpson, and letter 𝐸𝐸𝐷𝐿𝐻, following their collaboration on Razor Blades, the horror magazine, a taboo-busting anthology of terror co-created by Fox and James Tynion. All 8 Eyes takes readers back to the forgotten corners of post-9/11 NYC, where college dropout Vince Spencer floats through life in a drug and party-fueled haze until one terrible night sweeps him into a drifter's reckless war against the giant 8-legged horrors stalking the city's most vulnerable residents. Man, hey, listen. Let me pull up my notes from when I
got notes. Okay, all right,
I got them here.
I'm curious to see what your notes say, and I hear you flipping it too. Like, let me flip it, let me find it.
I'm about to bust out the heat. No, but listen, before I get into my thoughts, what did you think, Michael? And what was your overall impression on this debut issue?
Yeah. Okay, first of all, and I think when you asked me what it was, I said 8-legged freaks. That's the first thing. 8-legged freaks was a spider movie from years ago. That's the first thing I thought about.
Yes.
But it's better than 8-legged freaks. I'm gonna go ahead and just come out and say this is gonna be a cop for me. Because it was better than I thought it was gonna be. I knew it was gonna be about spiders, but it's really about people hunting spiders. And it's like it almost comes off as a vampire hunter story, but instead of vampires, they're hunter spiders. Where the spiders have been here in the world all these years, doing all this stuff, killing these people, but nobody knows about them. And we see a lot of that vampire mythology. Well, vampires are killing people, but nobody knows about it, and we hunt them in the dark and stuff like that. And the college student now, he kind of gets pulled into the world by this crazy hobo dude, and he's like, "Oh, I thought this dude was lying, but the dude's not lying. There really are spiders going around killing people, and nobody seems to really care or know about it." They made it. It wouldn't surprise me there was a cover up. It wouldn't surprise me, but let's see.
I think that was a good. I enjoyed that twist. So yeah. I mean, the premise, folks, here is there's 8-legged freaks, stalking streets, like the dark corners of New York City. But it's like it's not out in the open, it's something like of a well kept secret. And I think I've got a couple of slides here. So there's like Steve and the team, there's this whole kind of mythos and this history, like where they've been, kind of throughout history, right? Almost
Right.
like an open secret. So I like that in twist. I kind of enjoyed that, right? Rather than it being some straight up, I don't know, like they're kind of taking over the city and it's just like an open war or something. It's more something like taking place in the shadows, right? So that's fun. It kind of lent this mysteriousness to the book.
I mean, and I think mysteriousness is the right term, because this is a mystery. I'm like, okay, so they've been in here all this time. They kind of lose. Like, we thought we were the apex predator, but they're really the apex predator. They're hunting us.
Mm-hmm. Listen, look at Juan saying hobos are the hidden heroes. They tend to know more than what we know. Hey, listen, they've got their ear to the streets, so I think you're on to something there, Juan. And I think Steve Fox and the creative team are definitely onto something with this book, because yes, our main character, what's our main character's name?
His name was Reynolds. I remember that because he had that name tag.
Reynolds. Okay, yeah.
Reynolds is the main hunter. I don't know what the student's name is. I can't think of that right now.
Yeah, so there. So you've got Vin.
Yeah,
so
Vin.
This kind of I guess late teens, college aged. Yeah, he's kind of just drifting through life, sex, drug fueled kind of hazes, I think is how they put it. And he runs into Reynolds, who's the arachnid hunter. And listen, full transparency, guys, you guys keep this to yourself. This is a house of nerd. A little bit of information, secret tidbit. I am deathly afraid of spiders, man.
Afraid of spiders. I think we talked about that last week. People like being afraid of spiders. I think Brian said he was. Somebody said, I ain't gonna say it was Brian. Somebody said they were afraid of spiders. I'm like, I'll kill it and move on. He's like, I gotta call my wife in.
I hate him. I like it. Takes depending on the circuit. Sometimes I can't. Like it's just no. Like I've got like I think a legit. What is it called? Arachnophobia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, arachnophobia. That's what it's called.
Yeah, man.
Which is also a hit movie. Arachnophobia was a hit movie too.
She's straight up traumatized, man. So this book definitely, folks, is not, it'll give you the heebie-jeebies if you got any kind of aversion to spiders.
And I what is the purpose of spiders? I mean, what are spiders here on Earth to do? What do they contribute to the ecosystem? Other than just
terrorize
stuff, kill flies,
terrorize us.
I mean, but to your point, Sergio, if you like Kingdom of the Spiders with William Shatner back in the day, you like Arachnophobia with Jeff Daniels back in the day, Eight-Legged Freaks with David Arquette. I guess we want to call him Dewey from Scream. David Arquette. You will like this book. I mean, and this book could probably be the next big thing. This could be the Netflix, Amazon Prime series, or a movie. I could easily see that happen.
I think this will be a great kind of like it, because it has a lot of the B movie horror, like the trappings, the tropes, but it's not tropey, if that makes sense.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's written smartly. It's not cheesy or campy or anything like that. Is this is really I thought it was entertaining stuff, man. And then of course
definitely entertaining. I mean, they explained just enough. They pulled in the story. I mean, and you're seeing it from the POV of Van, and there's a section, there's a part where Van it's almost like Van had a chance to walk away from this book, just like you had a chance to walk away. And just like Van came back, I'm coming back. I was okay, well, I do want to see what happens next. What is going on? I want answers like Van wants answers.
Man, this is why we got. I love that. It's true. It's true because Vin, this young man, he has the opportunity to walk away, right? And us the reader, as I'm like I don't want to see these pages like look at this shit. Nightmare fuel, man. I hate ooh, it just gives me the.
I can say you're like ooh.
So listen, but much like Vin, I couldn't turn away. This is good. This is entertaining. This is fun, and I'm gonna agree with you, Marglin. This is straight up cop. And as I mentioned, I was lucky enough to read issue 2. Definitely only gets better, man. It introduces some new characters. It expands this world nicely, man. So definitely recommend checking out All 8 Eyes #1. Again, big thanks to Steve for sending us the advanced copy and kudos to the whole creative team. Hey, listen, I'm gonna say this right now. I'm gonna say this, Marklin. Piotr Kowalski and Brad Simpson.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say something about them. I
knew it was coming. My favorite artistic teams in comics right now. They're fucking crushing it. They're on Where Monsters Lie. Okay. They did a great sci-fi joint. I think the writer's name was Paul Dunning, and the name escapes me right now. But anything that they're doing, they've got an upcoming book with David Booher, right? Who did Specs and who did I say
I love Specs,
So I mean, I'll honestly I'll read anything that Piotr and Brad are on. I mean, I love Brad's colors and Piotr's. He's got like this. How would you describe it? Like really kind of I just like the line work. His line work is just is fantastic.
Yeah, right? I mean, it's very detailed, but it also allows for movement. It almost seems photographic in a way. I mean, especially since we're looking at a photograph right here, and if you can zoom in the background to the spider in the background right there.
So just great stuff, man. Definitely recommend it. So it's a cop from Marklin. It's a cop from me. Check it out. And I did want to share Ian's thoughts because I always like to hear differing opinions. So Ian is saying a lot of peeps seem to be loving this book. I wasn't that impressed by the first issue. Story didn't make much sense to me. Hey, okay. That's fair, man. Not everything is going to be for everybody. I will say, if you're kind of on the fence, Ian, maybe check out issue number 2.
And that was my recommendation. Well, usually check out, especially if you are, you're a true comic book collector. You always want to get that issue 2 to kind of decide, like, all right. And especially if it turns out to be a hit, issue 2 was usually an issue that's hard to find. That's what you notice after a while. They're going to do a bunch of issue 1s, but not as many issue 2s.
And that's like a fact. Issue 2 typically in a series is the least printed. It's got the smallest print run of any of the issues. I think
I'm not sure how true to the game. I've learned that the hard way. Issue 2s are hard to find.
Issue 2s are always fun. And actually, I think I saw Juanito. He posted recently that he just recently got issue number 2 of Lovesick. Mm-hmm. That was like the one he was missing. Folks, issue 2s are always the hardest to find. So a little tidbit for you guys to know. A little nerd knowledge, man. Issue 2s typically have the smallest.
If you're new to the comic book game, always try to get that issue 2. Mm-hmm. That's gonna be hard to find.
But I understand if Ian doesn't continue the series. I've got a short hook, eh? If a book doesn't get me like from issue 1, I don't. It's rare.
Now, I'm doing my caveat because I tend to stack, and my people at Sanctum TV, I tend to stack stuff. So sometimes I realize like I'm getting individual issues, but I need to get a full story arc before I can decide. Mm-hmm. So I may let it go to 6 issues. I've done that a couple different things.
My man, he's like, I'll give it 6 issues until.
I mean, sometimes perfect example. Something that I did that with. Jason Aaron's run on Thor. I did not like that first issue. But once I got to the 6th issue, just stacking in my box, I was committed. And I was committed from that point on. And my boy Marcus Connor Chicago tell you, I do not like fantasy. I do not like Thor. Is not one of my favorite books to buy. He's like, but you're regularly pulling a Thor book.
I got you. Okay, I'm with you. I know. I get that, buddy. So there you have it, folks. Copper Drop, unanimous. It's a cop, baby. All Eight Eyes, man. Great stuff. Dark Horse Comics, Marglin, I gotta say, is my favorite publisher these days, man. They're
saying a lot. I mean, but Dark Horse has put some gems out. It is Where Monsters Lie. Is that Dark Horse?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's good.
Yes, sir.
And of course, I like Mind Management Agency. That is Dark Horse put that out recently again. That's good.
Yep, Matt
the sequel to that and something else. Dark Horse, they the Dark Horse. They always got some hits in the background.
Yeah. Ian saying, will do. I just didn't get why no one else knows about the spiders. It's not like they're hard to find. I'll check out number 2 though. Hey, listen, I get that for sure. I see where you're coming from. Definitely, that's a fair kind of observation, man. I kind of took it just to kind of they're hiding in the shadows, kind of like I liken it to something like
vampires. That's what I get.
Yeah, definitely. That's like vampires, man. And you know what? I see Justin here in the chats. Shout out Justin. Good morning, buddy. He's saying doing some article edits. I see those notifications coming through, my man. Yes, Justin, one of the houseofnerdshow.com contributors, and he actually. Justin, correct me if I'm wrong. I think you wrote up the advanced review for All Eight Eyes on the website. So if you guys still aren't convinced, go check out what Justin has to say, man.
Yeah, Justin be putting in that work. I see the article be dropping. I was like, God damn.
Waiting on your heat.
They put in that work. I'm gonna tell you, behind the scenes, House of Nerd website, they put in that work, y'all. That website is phenomenal. It's gonna blow. Hey. I see it coming now. I just need to go and get my byline on there.
I'm waiting for that too. Thank you, buddy. I'm waiting for that too. Shout out 2 for a $5. What's going on? Hello, team. He's saying, always great to see you, my man. 2 for a $5. I know. Last time we spoke, you mentioned you're taking a little bit of a break from the comic book game, but if you got any recommendations, anything you're checking out these days, I'd love to hear them. What are we missing here on the House of Nerd Show? What should we be checking out? I know you got great taste, man. It's good to see you. Hoping you're having a wicked Sunday. And we got Oliver from 656 Comics. He's saying, good morning, jóvenes. Yes, buenos días, hombre. Keep your eyes peeled, folks, for the Kryptonals dropping, I believe, this Wednesday from 656.
And see what I love about your search. You don't be knowing about every thing dropping from every independent publisher. You're like, I know the date. It's coming. I'm like, man. Hey,
the House of Nerd Show, baby. This is what we do.
House of Nerd means House of Knowing. The House of Knowing.
But yeah, so we're gonna be spotlighting the Kryptonals on the socials. This week is dropping, so keep your eyes peeled for that, man. Check it out. Some crazy shit, man. Definitely recommend that. What is Justin saying here? He says that's just like your opinion, man. Oh, there you go. I guess in response to Joey not feeling issue number 1 of All Eight Eyes, and then yes, Justin confirming he reviewed that one. Ian, you got to shut off that.
Did you see that one from Cookie? And I have my nerd peeve rants. I'm like, look, man, you do have to suspend disbelief as well.
Absolutely. You got to do that often.
Stuff,
Yeah.
Even for the more quote unquote established stuff like Star Trek, people are like, well, I don't understand why this happened. Why didn't you do this? And I'm like, man, it's the story. Sometimes if everything happened logically, there would be no story and no adventure.
This is true. Hey, listen. Speaking of opinions, Justin's talking about opinions. Folks, did you guys I hit a nerd nerve yesterday. I posted, I don't know if you saw this, Martin. I posted about the Lord of the Rings of Power. So I'm starting.
I did, and you and I talked about that earlier on because I was saying I'm not a fantasy guy. And I said, but I was going to compare both Rings of Power to the Game of Thrones sequel, House of Dragons. prequel, and I was like, I liked Lord of Rings of Power better because it looked better. I said it just looks like a movie. It looks like a movie. I get the production value is amazing, you know. And I said, House of Dragons is ugly.
Hey, I'm right there with you. I'm not a big fantasy guy. I enjoyed Game of Thrones, but for me, The Lord of the Rings was I found it more enjoyable. But so this is so I'm starting a rewatch, Marklin. I'm starting a rewatch, guys. You know, I watched it as they came out. I very much enjoyed it, and I've been wanting to rewatch it again for a while because it's just I thought it was good. So this is what I posted. You know, I shared my thoughts. I asked the folks to share their thoughts, and then the post just blew up. I got like
look at this 75,000
impressions, views.
I saw that. I was like, but I saw most people were siding with you, like, hey, it did get a bad rep, you know. But I think also because House of Dragon was at the same time, and then Willow followed after that, and Willow got killed. Apparently, I didn't get a chance to watch Willow on Disney Plus. I mean, I still can watch it, but I heard it's canceled already.
Willow's a sore point. Willow was, and this is coming from someone I was highly.
You love the original because everybody loves the original Willow, the movie. You're like, oh, you know, who didn't like that?
But just comment after comment after comment, but you know what's funny? As the night went on, it started. I want to say like mostly positive. Folks were chiming in. Yeah, you know, I enjoyed it, sharing a lot of the same sentiment. And then slowly but surely,
it started to turn.
It started turning. The trolls came out, and you should see. I'm getting a big kick out of it. I probably spent too much time. I couldn't respond to anybody.
It's amazing how this happens because I'm like, I don't see how you can devote that much time to hate watching something. If you don't like it, stop watching it or slow down watching it. But these people will consistently watch to tell you how much they hate it. And I got a friend from I think you're in that group on Facebook too. The Nerds of Color group on Facebook, Ben Hatchett. This dude watches everything, but he hates everything. It's rare he'll like anything. But I respect him because he literally watches everything. So I gotta respect that. You know.
So Cookie saying you got folks mad. It's crazy, Cookie. And I'm telling you, folks, go through the comments. Some of the things these folks are saying, I'm like, who hurt you? Like you guys and I get it, we're passionate. I've been there, but like I find it very amusing that a lot of folks they just really with this kind of uber passion, hate this series with a passion, the things that they're saying. One saying, wait, it got a bad rep. Everyone I talk to love. Yeah, I mean, the Rings of Power is very divided, you know. And just check out the post, and you'll see kind of what their arguments are. I mean, but I felt a lot of the a lot of the criticisms, at least at first, were from what's the word, Michaelin? Just
legitimate, justified.
No, the opposite.
Unjustified, illegitimate.
Yeah, you know, just they were based on sitting like casting and racial overtones and this and that, man. And just like
and I get into this. I get into a lot of with people in quote unquote African American or Black groups. They're like, "Why you got?" I said, "Look, man, this is a fictional character. The only reason a lot of these characters are white is because white people wrote these stories. There's no reason for a lot of these characters to be white. The only reason is why, because I'm a white person. I'm just imagining as a white person. There's no reason they couldn't be Black or South Asian, Indian, or Hispanic, Latino, Latinx. There's no reason why.
It's crazy. We're talking about fantasy here, folks. What's Justin saying? He's saying Lord of the Rings is some fantastic watch. I'm all about badass Galadriel. I'm almost done with the reread of the whole Lord of the Rings series, and I don't see any evidence that Galadriel couldn't have been a warrior badass. So some of the arguments, some of the criticisms, I honestly do see where they're coming from. Like Galadriel's for sure. A lot of the folks were commenting like this is like such a complete opposite of what she was in the books and the source material. And even myself, I was watching. I said, "Oh, that's quite the departure from her like character."
But to be fair, I mean, we saw an older version of Galadriel in Lord of the Rings. I mean, it went like 500,000 years later. It was like centuries later. I mean, are you the same person you were 20 years ago?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Definitely with you on that. I mean, listen, we're seeing a much younger Galadriel, and myself, I am very curious to see how they kind of marry the two characters, right? We'll see where they take it, but I'm excited. I'm excited for season 2, man. And you guys want to be entertained? Check out the thread, man. There's some wild stuff, man. But I digress too much. Marglin, what's next on tap? What are we getting into?
Next on top, are we doing a copper draw for next week, or what we voting on for this? Announce our picks for the votes.
Oh my God, we're only in the second half of copper drop, folks. I'm gonna keep it moving. Apologies. Yes, second half of the copper drop.
Oh man, it's the passion, bro. It's the passion.
Hey, we pitched to you. Me and Marklin got a couple heaters coming your way. This is a big week, folks. Yes. So we pitched to you guys. Vote. Where's that slide? There we go. Marklin, I'll allow you to go first, my good man. What do we got here?
All right, friends and family. This is what I have: Star Wars Darth Vader Black, Red, and White by Jason Aaron, Torrin Rubik. And we got our one of fan favorite artists, Peach Momoko, on here. Klaus Johnson, Leonard Kirk, Romulan Fajardo Jr. I picked this because I'm a Trekkie, but I do like Star Wars, and I love Darth Vader stories. I think whenever Darth Vader pops up is one of the best things about Star Wars. And to take Sergio's words, the art in this is phenomenal. I like the black, red, and white stuff I've seen with Moon Knight, Carnage, even the stuff you see with DC with Superman are red, white, and blue. So I like artistically, it's something different. It's a new Star Wars series. It seems to be a limited series, so you don't have to really worry about keeping up with what happened in the past and what's going to happen in the future. And it's Darth Vader, and we're coming to the 4th of May. Just may the Force be with you. Right on time.
Good timings. I almost forgot about May the 4th, but yeah. So this book features a big cast of creatives. Peach Momoko actually getting writing credits on this, as well as interior, and you can see the two different some of the different art styles. This is Peach Momoko's stuff.
Yeah, I can tell that was Peach Momoko. When I saw it, oh, that's it right there.
Yeah. It looks great though, not gonna lie. I mean, listen, this book looks great. Look at that. That looks fire, man. I'm not sure which artist this one is. This one is Leonard Kirk, looks like, on art. But just looks great, man. And listen, look at these virgin variants. Oh my gosh. Star Wars, it just lends itself to dope like poster cover art, Yeah, and look at Ian. He didn't even have to think about it. He's saying guaranteed cop for me. All right, Joey. Yeah, I'm actually I don't think I've ever purchased any like Star Wars comic books, but I'm very
what?
I know, sir. Apologies.
And like we talked about previously on the show, I'm a Star Trek person. So I purchased the comic books from when they were DC, Marvel, now they're IDW. I think Malibu or somebody had them at one point. And some of the old Dark Horse Star Wars comic books are some of the best Star Wars stories you ever see.
Yeah, like the books, the comics. Yeah, for sure, man. I keep hearing it. A lot of that, times folks saying, it's top tier, right? Great material. JP saying Jason Aaron on writing. Have only read one comic from him. That's Southern Bastards from Image Comics. Okay. Never checked out Southern Bastards.
Jason Aaron is a fellow Alabamian. He's from Alabama. He didn't live here anymore, but okay. But he had to start in indie, but I think he had a good run on Star Wars when Marvel first got it. Him and I think Greg Pak, somebody else. I mean, but the Darth Vader stories are always just, you really can't go wrong with Darth Vader,
One of the GOAT villains, man, if you ask me. And then Ruben hard agreeing with you. He's saying facts, baby. The Marvel Star Wars books are great. I love the Vader runs, Dr. Aphra too. Okay. I might be an uphill battle for me. Lots of love here for Star Wars. Folks, what am I going with? What am I going with? Here we go. Boom. World Tree number 1 is my pick for you guys, and I'm gonna hit you guys with the brief synopsis on this one here. Here we go. In 1999, Gabriel and his friends discovered the Undernet, a secret architecture to the internet. They charted their exploration on a message board called World Tree. Then they lost control. Someone broke into World Tree. Someone who welcomed the violent hold the Undernet had on them. At great personal cost, Gabriel and the others thought they sealed the Undernet away for good. They were wrong, and now they will know the meaning of fear. And this is coming from James Tinian, Fernando Blanco on art, award-winning Eisner colors, Jody Belair. I love her stuff, man. And one of our favorites here, Aditya Bidikar. Folks, so this was actually supposed to come out a couple of weeks ago. It was delayed, but I was lucky enough to get an advanced review copy, a while back now. I recently reread it. Where's my physical? I got it here somewhere. But listen, folks, I promise you, the hype is real on this one, and it's gonna live. It lives up to the expectations, man. I was blown away by this. I'm flipping through the page. I'm reading, and I'm just shaking I'm like, oh my, this is crazy. This is so cool. Like just that excitement. Mark,
okay. All right. I feel the hype, Sergio. I mean, I'm gonna continue to stand. I have basically been reading James Tinian mainstream work. From Justice League Dark to Talon to what he got on Detective to what he got on Batman, and when he quit that stuff, I followed him over to Department of Truth or Nice House on the Lake. I think the only things that probably hadn't really popped for me from him, is probably Blue Book, which we talked about, and then The Closet. They're good, but they're not what I've come to expect from Tinian. But this seems like what I come to expect from Tinian. It reminds me of I can think what the thing is. The guy who used to write Mind Management, he wrote something similar for Bad Idea Comics. I can think what it was called. It was about a computer virus that basically took over the world. It was running the world, but we didn't know about it.
On Bad Idea?
It was on Bad Idea.
Kind of ringing a bell there, but I can't. I can't picture it right now. But yeah, listen. Folks, I think if any you guys are into like specking at all, this is one definitely you want to get your hands on. I feel like it's gonna be the next, Something is Killing the Children. Just huge. First and foremost, because the story is dope. It's gonna resonate with a lot of people. I think people are gonna be blown away. Shout out to Comics and Pops at the team. Nerd Herd, man. It is long time no see. Good to see you, my man. Happy Sunday. Hope you're having a blessed Sunday, man. Yes, we're talking World Tree. Myself and Marklin, we're pitching to you folks. It's a battle. It's a battle.
ENIAC, right, that's what it was. That was the one for Bad Idea. ENIAC.
Oh, ENIAC. Okay, yeah.
When that's what this reminds me of.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Kent, ENIAC. That's what it reminds me of.
Mm-hmm. And Justin saying here, I got an early read on this, and this is terrifyingly beautiful. Very violent, very much in your face horror.
All right, Sergio. I mean, you got me excited. I got to vote for my own book, but you slip me that review copy. I'll look at it.
Look at these great variant covers, man. What's Ruben saying? Don't think the left is the cover A anymore. I haven't heard anything otherwise. I'm pretty sure this is still the A. They did do a recall again. It was supposed to come out last week. The cover got printed like way too dark at the bottom there. You couldn't see it in the object. So if you're able to get your hands on, might be worth a little some. Strangeland vibes. Strangeland. Why is that ringing a bell? But I can't picture it. Help me out here, Cookie. Help me out here, community. Strangeland.
Was that the movie? Is that the movie?
Oh, there you go. Juanito's asking too. What's Strangeland? Yeah, I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, that's the movie with like Robert Englund and all that stuff. I think it's an older movie.
Robert Englund? You mean
Freddy Krueger? Yeah.
Oh shit! Really?
I think so.
Oh, maybe I haven't heard of it then. Okay.
I mean, it's old. I mean, I think I may have seen it. Like a trailer of it.
Look at this. This has got me hyped. I hadn't heard of this.
Oh snap! I saw what Justin said.
That's huge.
Because Something to Kill the Children I think was designed to just be 6 issues and it blew up. And I think this is already blowing up on backward issue.
That's crazy. I did read that not too long ago. It was originally supposed to be like you said, 6 issues, 1 arc, and then it just blew up. And he's like, all right, let me expand it. And look at it. There's got like multiple spin-offs and stuff. Yeah. So the Copper Drop poll is up, folks. We'll give you the results at the end. What are we reading? What are we discussing next week? Go ahead and vote, man. You can't go wrong with either, I think. And Cookie saying it's
okay. So it was a movie.
Oh, it wasn't good. Okay.
And like I said, he said it wasn't good. So
okay. Ian agreeing with Cookie, it was terrible. The Strangeland movie. Okay.
So I probably will not be watching them. Where's it at? Is on Hulu or something like that? Because Hulu has some bad stuff on it from time to time. Or the worst is Tubi. Everybody, you can find like almost anything on Tubi. I'm like, what is this?
I got. Hey, I wanted to ask the community, what is your opinion on this variant on the right? Because I'm kind of on the fence of it, but I'm leaning that it's pretty sick. I'm kind of digging this. But is that just me? Is that just me? Is that mid? What do you guys think? I don't know the artist, man. I should have.
I mean, but the tone on this cover on the right is different than the other covers we've seen so far. So I mean, everything has to be dark, and heavy colors, and this is just light, But
Chuma Hill is the artist. It's a 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲 exclusive, apparently. Okay. Yeah, and then the one on the left is Bjorn's Barons. He does some wild stuff.
Wait, you talking about Emerald Comics God? Is that the exclusive for that?
Sorry?
Well, you said it was exclusive to Emerald Comic Con. Is that what you said it was?
No, to 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲 somewhere or other. They're like a online comic book, something or other. Those are my personal interior page shots, man. I love the character design. It's so great. And then we got a nip slip there, which is, I ain't mad at a good old fashioned nip slip. I mean,
so now, Sergio, we got to keep our sexism, misogynism in check, sir.
Hey, I'm just saying, man. I'm saying it's artistic.
We understand you're a healthy heterosexual male. We understand
that. Definitely.
But we can't just randomly objectify as we get ready to talk about gun hunting later on, which is nothing but female objectification.
Ooh, listen. So there you have it, folks. Let me take a peek. Oh my goodness, Marklin, you don't want to peek at the polls right now.
Man, they killing me on Star Wars already, man.
Buddy, it's like it's a slaughter right now. It's a slaughter.
I'm just saying, man. I get it because you sold it well, but still, it's Vader, it's Star Wars, it's black, white, and red. The red is when Vader's gonna be slicing people up.
Justin said they aren't just slipping throughout the book. They be slipping. They be slipping. Did we want to get into?
I think next on our list was Wu-Tang is next on our list. Wu-Tang. Says so.
What?
I used to go to school with a lot of people from New York, and so they used to do that all the time. Like, so they used to be on a corner, sitting in the corner with the Timbs and stuff like that.
I'm with it. I'm not even mad. Hey, we're getting into Wu-Tang and American Saga Season 3 discussion. And if you're at home, you're watching, or even on the replay, feel free to do a one time. One time. Margolin, you know, I think a couple of times we've spoken about we've mentioned Wu-Tang season 3, right? It's the final season.
Mhm.
This might be a bit of a hot. I think this season 3 might even be better than season 1.
I definitely agree with you. I mean, because season 1 is about, you know, I'm not from New York. I know New York, but I'm not from New York, you know, and they from Staten Island, and it kind of gave that background of like, you know, basically the whole Wu-Tang clan is rooted in criminality, you know, but that's how they survived in Staten Island. You know, everybody's selling drills, everybody's in the projects. You know, season 2 is like, all right, you know, season 1 is like, all right, this crime thing ain't working for none of us. Let's come together and do something different that's never been done before. A super group where everybody has their own lyrics and their own rhymes and telling stories. And that led to the, you know, the 36 Chambers, you know. The second season is like, okay, we're together and we're gonna show you how we actually built the Wu-Tang into, you know, get that first album out and how we built tours and appearances and stuff like that. The third season is kind of like, it is the best, man. It's the best because you got these allegorical episodes where they're like, okay, let's explore Raekwon's Cuban Links album. Let's explore Old Dirty Bastards album. You know, let's explore, you know, I mean, it's so much exploration going on. And then it's like, let's show behind the scenes the business of what happened.
One time, got to throw up the W.
Yep.
Yeah, you know what? Season 1 was great. I thought it was top tier. Season 2 took a bit of a dip for me. I don't know. I guess it wasn't memorable for me. Not that it was bad. It was just kind of there. Season 3, man, really stood out. Yeah, I'm gonna ask you off the top, Markelin, and the community at home, favorite Wu-Tang member. You gotta hear what I know.
Before I saw this, it would probably be Old Dirty Bastard. Okay. Because he was crazy. He was crazy. And I looked at this again. I said, oh, well, Old Dirty Bastard obviously has, you know, which we found out later on, he obviously has schizophrenic issues, you know. You know, then probably, you know, Method Man, you know, probably after watching this, maybe RZA or Inspector Decker.
Okay.
And RZA, because I have so much more respect for what RZA did in producing those albums and the time he put into doing it. You know, I think last year, season 2, the episode where they showed how he just was in his mind thinking through the different sounds and talking different versions of himself, like trying to come up with the sound. And in this season, how he was trying to come up with the sound for Wu-Tang Forever. And like, you know, I'm a musician. I don't play an instrument, but the sound is coming from me. It's coming from me. And I'm trying to figure out how to get this out of my head into a live orchestra.
Yeah. And we're gonna get into, for sure. I love that aspect of a lot of parts of season 3 was where RZA, how he's trying to take the direction, the sound of their sophomore album, right, which called Forever here. JP saying, oh, the way Sigler's explaining is making me pump to watch it. There's so much exploration.
It is, man. I mean, and that's what makes this show so good. I mean, if you love the music, it's one thing, but it explains behind the scenes, it explains the origin of why they did what they did, and then the origin of how they made what they did. And also season 3 shows how they fell apart too, basically, in my opinion.
Yeah. And you mentioned the allegorical episodes.
Right.
Which were some of my favorites. Not this one, though. Not this one. This was probably, it was a miss for me, to be honest. I wasn't really feeling this one here. So, folks, this was episode 3 entitled Dirty Dancing. It's the first of 3 allegorical films. And this one in particular served as the inspiration for ODB's return to the 36 Chambers, his debut album. And ODB transformed into Dirt McGirt.
Yeah.
And this film, Dirt McGirt, I love it. It's in the vein of like the 70s blaxploitation films. What are your thoughts on this one? Because for me in particular, this was the biggest miss of the season for me. I can't really even.
I didn't. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. I understood it, but I probably with you, I didn't enjoy it because it took me out of what we had been watching until the end. and I didn't get what was going on. But I applaud them on their experience, their ability, their willingness to experiment with doing something different, especially in the final season.
Absolutely.
And I like the idea of like, let's act out this album. I mean, because that's what it's like. The characters are acting out what happened in the album, essentially.
Yeah, and I'll agree with you there, Marklin. Very much like the Wu-Tang sound. You gotta applaud. You can't even be mad that they experimented in season 3. You know what I mean? So gotta give them kudos on.
And I'm always have love for that album because Shimmy Shimmy Ya came out on the album, and that's probably my favorite song off of this album.
Return to the 36 Chambers.
Yeah, Shimmy Shimmy Ya. I think that's probably what aired on the air down here in Alabama. I'm like, what is this right here? It's the Wu-Tang. But it's not the Wu-Tang. It's old DB by himself.
Hey,
well, he stars out the hook by himself essentially.
Would you say Return to the 36 Chambers a top 5 Wu-Tang album? Does it crack top 5 for you?
Yeah, I can say that. I mean, I would say, a lot of purists are going to say the first Wu-Tang album is the best. I actually say it's Wu-Tang Forever for me because of Triumph. Yeah? I say because of Triumph. A lot of, and it was the last time they really got everybody together on that level too,
Yeah. I'll say this much, Marklin. For me, Triumph, it was definitely more my era. It's when I became really familiar with Wu-Tang. 36 Chambers came out like 93, so I was still a little, I wasn't really into Wu-Tang, a little young then, but Forever is like really when I got into it, so it kind of holds like a special place. But comparing it now, like from a distance, I would say the best to me has got to be their debut album, man.
But they were hungry then too, and the show does a good job of capturing that. Like, hey, we got to make this work because I'm not trying to go back to jail. I'm not trying to go to selling drugs. I got to pay for my kids. They had that eye of the tiger back then. But I love how the show also captures once they got that successful album and they had groupies, they had money, they had the Wu Mansion. I can only imagine, as a heterosexual man, the amount of stuff they were getting into, which they kind of show on the show, like all the women they had around them, all the drugs they had around them.
Yeah.
Dirty got a line in the show like, my pee hurt. He's like, I've been doing too much stuff. I don't even want these women no more.
Yeah, he needs the shots and everything. But listen,
exactly.
The first album, there was it was so raw, so gritty. You can't, I don't know. For me, that does. But I would say, back to my question, I would probably put ODB's debut in the top 5.
But you know what? I would say this, Sergio. Something else I was like, is Ghostface Killah's Iron Man album. And I think the episode that focused on him doing that album, for me, that probably is one of my favorite individual Wu songs. All I Got Is You. Because that song is so beautiful. I'm like, that song is beautiful. And, and they said, this is the best thing you've ever done. And that episode in particular focused on him doing that album when he had the Delphonics. And they got and somebody he was I had to look that up. That actually happened. He actually did have the Delphonics in his vehicle and pulled out a gun and shot at somebody.
That was crazy. I think what episode was that? But I think I got a slide somewhere. But yeah, that was crazy. I hadn't heard of that. So Ghostface, he grew up listening to the Delphonics, one of his biggest influence. He got them to be on his Iron Man album, and I looked into it after. Apparently, they were like in a 15-passenger van or something.
Right.
He was involved in a shootout with these like OGs in the van, and they were all like, "Yo, what's going on?" But that was wild. Hey, listen, you ever have Wu gear back in the day?
Man, when I first moved to Atlanta, a Wu-Tang store was actually open.
Yeah,
I remember that. So for me to see how the show shows how Power built the Wu-Tang merchandising brand and how he was so happy he got them in the Macy's and then eventually went to store. I actually saw a Wu-Tang store.
Oh, you did, eh?
There was actually a Wu-Tang store in Atlanta.
That's crazy. So you had the hoodie? What'd you have? Hoodie?
I didn't have anything, man. I'm gonna tell you why I didn't have anything. Because my roommate, he was from California. He's from Los Angeles, from Baldwin Hills. And so at that point, that's when the East Coast, West Coast beat was big. And he'd be like, he used to call him 𝐿𝐻𝐻. He said, West Coast for life, 𝐿𝐻𝐻, 360s, cuz.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So I was in the midst of all this stuff. I'm like a young teenager. Like, what's going on here? I'm from Alabama, so I got people from the north, New York, and I have people from the west. I'm like,
yeah,
I'm just from the south.
Yeah. I think this episode here was made mention of Inspector Deck when he produced that joint for the Tales from the Hood.
And Tales from the Hood is a classic. I didn't realize that he had done that. I mean, I kind of knew it, but watching the episode, like, oh, he did do that.
That was pretty cool, right?
And I like how they also show, like, because initially they all relied on RZA to do the production and stuff like that. Remember, that's how season 2 ended. Well, basically, the RZA lost all their stuff when that pipe in his apartment broke and flooded his production studio. So he lost all their albums and had to redo them all.
Which is crazy. That's crazy. Yeah.
But I mean,
what else do we got here? So Criminology was the second of the 3 allegorical episodes, right? And this one was filmed in the style of like 90s gangster flicks. I think this might have been one of my favorite episodes.
I agree with you, sir.
Super, super dope. And of course, the inspiration being the making of Raekwon's classic, absolute hip hop all-timer, only built for Cuban links.
Raekwon the Chef, though, Raekwon the Chef,
the Ghostface. Yeah.
What's so good about this, because you look at the early seasons of Wu-Tang, the first season, you see that Raekwon and Ghostface did not like each other at all. They tried to kill each other on several.
I didn't know that either. That was pretty cool. I didn't know that.
They tried to kill each other several times. I'm like, I pulled a gun and I shot at your house and I almost killed your family. That's how much they just, for them to go so close to the point they basically broke away from the West of the Clan to go do on the Cuban links. Yeah, they broke away and did that. Remember, didn't they go to Colombia or someplace like that to film, to record that? They went somewhere.
They went to like Belize or something. Yeah,
exactly. Somewhere. They went to Belize. I'm like, how you go from not liking this dude trying to kill him to like, yo, son, let's go to Belize, man, down with the honeys, and we gonna record this album, man. Yeah,
this was an incredible episode. I got like New Jack City vibes, the classic with Snipes, right? Just really, really, really dope. And then of course, the purple tape. You know what? I wish I would have caught like the original, the tape or the CD, right? That would have been cool to have. But
what were you gonna play it on today, though? I mean, today, what would you play it on? I hadn't seen a tape player. Can you still buy them? I guess you could buy them off of eBay or something like that.
You know what they're actually doing these days, but is they're bringing back like modern like CD players or cassette players. Like they've got like the retro boombox look, but they play the cassettes or the CDs. It's pretty cool, man. I guess retro is always in, man. I was very tempted to cop.
Man, believe me, I was a kid in that era, and my cousins and stuff would sit up and wait for the radio and have a tape in there, ready to play it and catch it and record it. And I mean, that was time consuming. I'm gonna tell you, all you guys, being able to get some on your phone and identify and be able to download your phone, that is a godsend for somebody like me. Because I'm like, man,
it's crazy.
Having to tape stuff off the radio, it ain't all it was kicked up to be.
This one here, Legend of the Liquid Sword. I think that was...
There was a 𝐬𝐻𝐻 album. Yeah, this was the one about the folk on the 𝐬𝐻𝐻𝐻.
Yeah. So this is the third final allegorical episode. It's when 𝐬𝐻𝐻 takes on the personality of the genius. And the premise behind this one is pretty cool. So 𝐬𝐻𝐻 journeys through an alternate reality, like this dystopian New York City. And the whole premise is he's got to unite the people through the sound of his music from the Liquid Swords album. Again, this was another one of my my favorite episodes. Super cool, man. And then you know what was really just for all the seasons was just hearing these classic tunes, and you're getting so hype, and you know,
Right.
like you're seeing how they made the beats and how like the story behind it, and it reinvigorated my love for Wu-Tang, and then I've been rinsing like I've been rinsing Cuban Links, I've been rinsing Iron Man and Liquid Swords again, and you know, man, just I think American Saga, whether you're a Wu-Tang fan or not, but for sure, if you're a Wu-Tang fan, you're gonna love this series, man.
I mean, if you're a hip hop fan, I mean, it's good to see the historical perspective on it. And I like this episode because you know the 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲 was like, hey, I need to get the Clan on here because he had already dropped his tracks. It was like, well, you know, what's the hold up? He's, I need to get the rest of the Clan on this album. That's what it is. It's like, but it's not a Wu-Tang, it's your album. He said, but I need the Clan on here, and he was determined to do it. You know.
Yeah, that was the whole thing. Yeah, and it was fun to watch like the whole struggle, and that was you know, like that was the episode, right? Like he's trying to unite,
exactly,
you know, and bring the clan together, and bro, he came up with an all-timer. I mean, how would you? I would say, in terms of my favorites, it's Enter the 36 Chambers, then is like interchangeable. I'd say Liquid Swords is right there, or Only Built for Cuban Links. You have a preference? Which one would you say is the better album? It's tough, man.
It is tough. It is tough. I mean,
classic.
I mean, probably. I don't know, man. I mean, because it's different reasons I like them. You know, Only for Cuban Links is just, you know, it's that mafioso rap stuff right there. It's like, you know, we take it over. We run the mafia. A lot of shows that I see on TV today, from Snowfall to Power, are kind of built off that concept. We organize criminals and stuff like that. But you know,
emulating
Liquid Swords is like is a bit more sophisticated. Hey, you know, we trying to change the sound. We trying to bring everybody together. We trying to do this. We trying to combat. You know, I saw it as like we trying to combat this dumb hip hop that's coming out. That's how I kind of saw it. You know, and use something more lyrically sophisticated.
That's what I'm saying. Just his wordplay and like his rhymes are just next level, especially on that. On that Liquid Swords album, but it's tough. I think it just depends on my mood, but it's right there. Like those to me, those are like the next two best albums after 36 Chambers is Liquid Swords and Only Built for Cuban Links, man. I think you're hard pressed to put anything ahead of those one. Yeah. Supreme Clientele is pretty dope though.
Yeah.
Ghostface?
Yep, Ghostface. I mean, like I said, I mean, like I said, for me right now, I would say just probably, you know, All That I Have Is You off of Iron Man. And then, you know, the one he did, I can think what happens on 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲 Lagos and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
You know,
𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲 Lagos is a class. I love that.
And then, you know, TK with Method Man, I'm a fan of that album, you know. You know, even though Meth doesn't, I am, you know, even though Meth doesn't show up a lot in this season, because I guess it was, but Meth, I've heard stories that Meth was the best looking one. Because, you know, his light skin privilege, of course, and that's why he kind of like was able to break out first and start doing collaboration with Mary J. Blige and all that stuff. And then he's able to get into acting. But you know, I also heard that Meth was like, even now, because you know, the Wu-Tang is on tour, and Meth hadn't been on a lot of tour stops. And I saw a post. He's like, "Look, you know, for my fans that's loyal to me, I appreciate that, but understand." I'm not committed to being every stop in this tour because, unlike the rest of my fellow clan members, I have other obligations that allow me to earn a living. Which he's on Power Book 2 Ghost right now.
Okay,
with Mary J. Blige of all people, you know.
Oh shit, really? I didn't.
Yeah,
know
so
that.
he's on a weekly television show.
Well, I mean, for sure, Meth to me is the one Wu member to really kind of blow up, and then not only just with music, like he does like the whole acting thing and everything, right? So. I mean, from the jump, he seems to be like the most popular. But to me, he's like, he doesn't have like a classic album like some of the other Wu members, like Ghostface or
like I said, it would probably be TKL or TKL 2000 is what I'm thinking. But you know, TKL 2000. Or when did it come out? Yeah, that's the last Method Man. That's the last album I remember people really talking about. But like I said, I'm not around people who are true hip hop heads like that anymore, or New Yorkers who like just like, hey, I gotta get this. I gotta be up on the latest sound.
Mm-hmm.
Who read the source every week. Every time it comes out. I remember the first time I got a copy of the source, and like this New Yorker's like, "Yo, son, go ahead and give it to me, son. You don't even know what they're talking about, son."
For sure, man. What else do we got here? Yeah, and then Capadonna made an appearance, right?
Right.
That was pretty cool to see him in the series. And I think I don't remember which episode, but there was one episode where it shined the spotlight on like the lesser known members.
Yeah,
like
on Master Killer, 𝐬𝐿, and I don't know who else was in the episode, but I like that too.
Yeah, I think Inspector Deck might have been the third guy in that one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool to kind of see where Master Killer, how he came into the group. And
I like how Master Killer was like, I'm not really an artist. People are like, you a singer? He's like, no, I'm not a singer,
Yeah.
And I like how he, but it was so telling the episode because his uncle kept trying to get him to buy his cab. He's like, I'm gonna buy my cab medallion. And you can retire with like $500,000. And I'm like, man, but did Uber and Lyft affect that now? Like, this was the 90s when he was trying to get him to buy it. So 30 years from now will be now. And I'm like, now we have Uber and Lyft. And I'm not sure how that has affected the taxi cab industry in New York, which is so organized and regulated.
For sure, man. Yeah, so that was interesting, like the path that Master Killer chose to take. Cab driver, or rapper, right?
But cab driver wasn't, like I said, wasn't a bad profession, especially back then. You could retire like almost $500,000 when you sold it, It's
an honest living, bro. You can't be mad at that, man. Another great, which was at the end of last season. How about which I hadn't known about? What are your thoughts on did RZA do ODB dirty by not having him signed to Def Jam?
Nah. I thought about that. The only thing he did dirty is what he should have told them. They did tell him, but they did it first, then he told them.
I don't know, man. I feel like that's wrong, but like, that was Dirty's whole like childhood dream.
Like RZA said, man, but this deal will keep you paid and provide money for your family.
Yeah.
But I also think it caused a schism between them that was never fully repaired.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in season 3, you see how hard it is to get Dirty to come into the studio. Especially, I think it's the episode, which I think is my favorite episode, is episode 8. Well, I didn't say, I don't know. The episode about Divine, who was RZA's brother, who's the manager group, and how hard he has to work to manage them. He's like, I need Dirty to do this album with Mariah Carey. They'll pay $1 million just song. I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. What do you mean you don't want to do it? It's $1 million.
Yeah, that was a great episode. It was episode 7. Divine's kind of losing he's got so much, he's trying to juggle everything, right? He's trying to get Dirty to agree to do the feature with Mariah Carey, right? And that tune that ended up blowing up was huge. He was trying to get that episode also talked about how he ended up signing Capadonna and Ghostface to Sony. Tommy Mottola's
because Tommy Mottola was married to Mariah Carey at that time too. So it was like
And then what was interesting, because then you see the dynamic, and then you have Inspector Deck, who is still waiting on his solo deal
on his first album. He's like, well, how come he get moved up in line for me? I don't understand why he's getting moved up, but
exactly.
I like Inspector Deck said, I'm a soldier. I'm gonna do what need to be done for the clan, And I like how along the way he learned, I need to learn to produce for myself, which he did.
Shout out Justin, man. Thank you for hanging out with us, man, and everybody else in the live chats who's listening. But yeah, that was cool because Inspector Deck always had the sickest bars, right? And
listen to Triumph, and I like that RZA says it, man. I think your bar on Triumph is probably one of the best Wu-Tang verses of all time, which it is.
All time.
Everybody talks about that.
All time, 100%, man. You can start spitting, Socrates philosophies. Everybody knows those bars, every hip hop head is it's for sure. I would agree, man. It's an all time.
But watching the show made me kind of watch other YouTube videos. I can still, even though I think they're together because they need to be together to make money on tour, because as somebody, I think Russell Simmons in his book said, the music industry is a horse game, and it depends on who brings you in or how honest you are. I think RZA, for his part, wanted to, after his first deal got burnt, he wanted to make sure they all were equal and stuff like that. you know, but as they come to the end of that 5-year contract, everybody want to go a different way. You know, I think Raekwon is still vocal to this day. You look at some DJ Vlad videos like, no, man, you know, they did us dirty and we should have got this and we should have got that. But what I think why that episode 7 Divine's like, y'all think I did you dirty, but you see how hard it is to wrangle all y'all to get you to do anything? And I think that line that Power said, man, they all mad at you. He said, why they mad at me? I made them all rich. He said, yeah, but this is just because they're rich don't mean they're professional. That line, that's probably my favorite line in the whole series. Just because they're rich don't mean they're professional.
It's cold but true. It's cold but true, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and it's just tough to like. You imagine trying to like manage these 9 different personalities, right? You know,
which is when that manager says to RZA in the final episode, she was like, I have to manage. You know, she was the manager rating his machines. I had to manage 4 people. You got to manage 9.
Yeah. So how did you think that the season ended?
I think it ended right where it needed to, because people are like, well, it should be more to show what happened. I said, yeah, but you got to realize Wu-Tang, yeah, they did another album, but it was never that level of just excitement. I think it's excitement now because it's been so many years, and people like, I crave Wu-Tang nostalgia now, and they going back on tour and stuff like that. Also, I think the fact that Old Dirty died kind of deflated the Wu-Tang, because you'll never get to see the whole Wu-Tang again.
I know, man. I never got to see the whole group live, like with ODB. I mean, that would have been like, you know, yeah. People get asked, oh, who'd you like to go see live? You know, some of them are like, I don't know, the Doors, Bob Marley. I would love to see the whole Wu-Tang Clan. You know, but
I'm gonna tell you the part that stood me the most. When they were on that radio, how the guy basically cut them. He's like, "Look, man, you know, it's gonna be 9 guys on stage, and I may have 4 to 5." And he was like, "This the lesser tier members, you know. Where's Method Man at? Where's ODB at? Where's Ghostface at? You know?" And right. Like, I'm here every day. He said, "But where the rest of these guys at?" And how when Raekwon walked out in the crowd and he saw that ODB had been following them on the tour, like he was, I'm like, he's gonna be performing, but he traveling like he following the tour.
Yo, that's ridiculous. Personality. And let's talk briefly like on the performances. Who do you think delivered the best performance? Probably captured the likeness of the rapper the best. Is it? Can you only pick one? I mean, or
I don't know, man. I think about it because for one, I think the actor who played Inspector Deck and 𝐬𝐴, they brought a lot to the table because I didn't really know them as much, you know. I've heard a lot of people complain about the guy playing RZA. They said that he changed the way his voice was in the first season and the second season. But RZA is a direct producer, executive producer, and director, and writing the series. I'm sure he told him to do that. I think he told him to do that. You know, the guy who played ODB, I think probably really captured him the most. You know, because at first I thought this was the son of ODB. I thought that for a second. Is he the son of ODB?
Same. I think, man, straight up, the guy who played ODB killed it. Because I was thinking the same thing. I said, "Yo, is that ODB's one of his kids?" Or
that's exactly what I thought. So I got to give it to him. You know, and then the guy who played, you know, Raekwon, Raekwon, who also plays Miles Morales in Into the Spider-Verse. You know, he was good. But you know, he had been on
Hold on. Buddy did he's the actor.
He does Miles Morales.
I didn't know that. Shameik Moore?
You didn't know that? Yes.
Oh, shit. Oh, I didn't know that. But he's a great actor. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the one that plays Ghostface, I think he really captured Ghostface too.
Yeah. I would say probably my 2 favorites are ODB and the actors who did. And
but you do realize Inspector Decker got replaced. The actor playing him because at first it was Joey Badass, and he left after season 1. Go back and look at season 1. Who plays Inspector Deck, and go on season 2. He left. I think he left to go work on the Power series because he's on Power Book 3, Raising Kanan now.
I didn't catch that. I didn't book that. You know, also was pretty good is Dave East. Dave East did a great job.
Dave East now, Dave East like the second coming of Method Man.
Yeah, it's uncanny, man. And listen, we got Oliver from 656 Comics. He's saying, I really wanted to love this season, but it was hit or miss with me. Season 2 was fire. That's interesting because for me, Oliver, season 2 was my least favorite. And I was telling Mark and I can't really put my finger. It wasn't bad, but it was just like the least memorable for me. I enjoyed season 1 with top tier, and then for me season 3. So, but it's curious to get that that perspective, man. Okay, so season 2 was the one for you. Yeah, man.
The Get Down, that's right. So Shamik Moore, who played Raekwon, he was on the Get Down, was on Netflix, which I love that. He played Shaolin Fantastic.
Marklin, hold on. I'm gonna do one of these right now.
Okay.
100% right there. I love the Get Down. I hate that it was canceled. It was such an underrated show, man. That was great,
man.
Yeah. That was my first I guess exposure to the actor, man. Yeah, he was cool in that. So I think that's it on the Wu-Tang discussion. Yeah, man. Marklin with the hot take saying Wu-Tang Forever, the better album.
For me, it is, man. For me, it is. And I said a disclaimer of I'm not a true hip hop head, because true hip hop heads will know. They'll know anything. They know any lyric. They know any album. They know the production on it, everything. I've been around these people. They know everything. But Wu-Tang Forever for me is the one. If I had to pick a Wu-Tang album to start, I'm gonna do this.
I got you. For those watching, curious, hit me with your top 5 or top 3 Wu-Tang albums. For me, it's got to be Enter the 36 Chambers. Then, like I said, either Cuban Links or Liquid Swords is right there. Then Forever.
Yeah.
Then maybe rounding it out, Iron Man. I don't know, something like that. Stuff. So there you have it, folks. Wu-Tang and American Saga season 3, super dope, man. Yeah, I very much got a kick out of that one, and I'd be remiss not to one time before we end the discussion.
Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to mess with.
I mean, let me just say that Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to F with, and Cream off of that first album. I mean, that's what we know, man. I was like in I don't know, elementary school, going to middle school or something like that. And we were like, how many people are actually in this? We didn't even know how many people were actually in this thing.
It's crazy. Yeah, definitely. One more time.
Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to mess with.
Hey, Chappelle, the GOAT, man. What do you say? Wu-Tang! Wu-Tang Financial, baby. Wu-Tang Financial. Yo, I gotta go rewatch those skits, man. Great stuff. Yeah, wow. What time is it? What are we talking about here? We got
to do Gun Honey next.
Gun Honey. Speaking of Gun Honey. All right, before I get into Gun Honey, I got this bad boy. Still got some of these left, folks. Still got some of these left. If you haven't ordered a copy, I'm shipping out the second batch on Monday. Shipped out the first batch last week. Folks already got them, but got these bad boys available. The very first House of Nerd show, exclusive variant by the super talented Richard Morgan for his Glam series, issue number 5. Nerd dream come true, man. Look at this.
Nerd dream come true.
It really is, bro. It really is, man. I love it, man. I love it. You know what? I love the color palette. I love the neons, man. Like, I couldn't have asked for something better, man. Straight up, And she, look at that. She thick. Speaking of,
she's thicker than a Snicker. What we say down here.
It's thicker than a Snicker, 100%, man.
Thicker than a Snicker, man.
Speaking of thicker than a Snicker, we got a little, man. This background killing me. We got a little gun honey action. I can't show you guys that. It's too hot. It's too hot for TV.
Too hot for TV.
Art Germ. Where we go? Boom. Comic Spotlight. Gun Honey Blood for Blood from Titan Comics, written by Charles Ardai, which, folks, we did do an interview with him. I want to say it was around the time that issue 1 of Blood for Blood was released. So check it out. It's up on the channel, man. Had a fun. He's a super smart guy. Great writer, award winner. 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲 is the artist. Asifur Rahman on colors, and on letters David Leitch. Again, this one's from Hard Case Crime, Titan Comics. And this particular cover is Art Germ.
Right.
I'm not, to be honest, Marklin, I'm not like crazy on the I like the CGI art, like art germ stuff. But this one is fire. I like this. So yeah, big. I want to just shout out Titan Comics for sending this.
Yeah, I mean, and it's rare I get to read Titan Comics. I think I primarily read maybe their Doctor Who stuff. So this is good. I mean, and I think Accurate Ed Brubaker, the finest kind of pulp noir, because I think you sent this to me, and I actually had read volume 1. I started reading this. Okay, I did read it, but I hadn't read volume 2. And it was a quick, easy read that pulled you into it. If you like violence, if you like ladies, this is the book for you right here.
Yeah. I mean, listen, this is a book, pulp noir. I mean, look at the what is Ed Brubaker saying there? The finest kind of pulp noir. You know what I mean? It's got a great premise, super fun. Definitely paced. Like, it doesn't let up. This book doesn't let up. So I'll hit you guys with another brief synopsis, and then we'll share our thoughts, man. That's what we do here. That's what we do here. So 2021's best-selling non-premiere comic is back for a blockbuster new series with weapons expert Joanna Tan, the legendary gun honey off the grid, recuperating from her last job. A vengeful rival takes her place and frames Joanna for murder. On the run from Malaysia to Milan, from Montana to Monaco, can Joanna catch up to her ruthless enemy, or will she catch a bullet first? So the premise is pretty simple, folks. For those who haven't read it, yes. So you've got Joanna Tan, who's a weapons expert, and her whole thing is she can sneak in a gun into just about any location, any scenario that you can come up with. She's like the one who you need to get into like a max high security prison. She's able to do it, man. So at the end of volume 1, she kind of ends up being on the lam, on the run. So she's in hiding. And she's chilling out in Malaysia. She's chilling out in Malaysia, and her former, I guess, what do you want to call Agent Brooke? Like, kind of her, not her handler.
I mean, that's basically what he is, her handler.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Like, her handler with the agency she was kind of working with.
She was coerced into working for because she never volunteered to do it.
Right. So someone is attempting to set up Gun Honey, right? You can see here breaking into this kind of old style castle / mansion and setting her up for murder. For what reason, we don't know yet. But that's part of the whole the big fun of this series is kind of going along and unraveling the mysteries and seeing how all the pieces and all the characters fit together. So basically, yeah, the book starts off. She's brought out of hiding. She's got to try to figure out who's trying to set her up. Pretty straightforward. We find her. Oh, look at that.
Look at that. There's your gratuitous cheesecake right there.
Hold on, what'd you say? Gratuitous cheesecake.
That's what it is, man. This is modern day Betty Boop for you right there.
I will say quickly, folks, who might be surprised at the screen grabs here. What Charles does here and the creative team, I think they balance the line, and it's a fine line between gratuitous, maybe vulgar, and just kind of sexy and adult. And this is an adult book. But I thought it balanced that line pretty freaking good, man. In my opinion, anyway, it didn't cross the line into, I don't know, something more than just it's a sexy adult book that you want to enjoy. It's got action, again, super fast pace. What are your thoughts on this one, bud?
Man, like we talked about some earlier, This when I read this could easily be another Netflix series, especially. And I started thinking, who can play Gun Honey? And for some reason, I landed on old girl who everybody loves right now, that's in Ghosted with Anna de Armas, whatever her name is, right there. I landed on her because she's just popular right now, you know.
Okay.
But you know, men always love attractive women, and men love attractive women who they feel like can beat their ass, you know, and that's what this is right here. It seems simple and gratuitous, but it's actually a really good story here. You know, the first volume kind of ended on a twist, like, oh, this is the person that's actually you're hunting is connected to our main character, and then it's a twist in the end when the true villain is killed. And this is kind of ramifications of it in this volume right here. Oh, you killed this person in the first one, so here are the ramifications of it now. And I was thinking, well, okay, well, who can play this person in a series? You know,
I was going to get into some fan casting. I think, you know, well, Gun Honey is Southeast Asian, right? So
yeah.
I mean,
which is why I say she wouldn't make it, but that's who's in my mind right now because I keep seeing this ghosted stuff right now.
Anna de Armas has definitely got that, like, you know, that sex appeal. I think she'd be great, you know. But you know, let's you know, it's tough because I don't know too many, I guess, well-known or even lesser known, you know.
Well,
like
you know,
Asian actresses.
Old girl that just dang it, she has a new show coming on with Richard Martin, the guy who played from Game of Thrones and played 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲 in Eternals. Priyanka. She was in
Priyanka Chopra?
Yes, she would be good for this because she's South Asian Indian.
Okay.
Michelle Yeoh definitely in her younger days because I think this character is Malaysian. Michelle Yeoh is actually Malaysian.
Okay.
You know,
okay. I would say Michelle Yeoh's you know, she's on the older side to play a Gun Honey. Maybe 20 years ago, but
yeah, but I mean, obviously this character is because you know they talk about it like, well, how old are you? You know, she's like, I wasn't alive when that happened. He's like, you know, I wasn't old enough. He's like, how were you? He's like, I was in middle school when they were talking about rays. They part about the rays. She's like, I wasn't even alive when they were doing rays.
You know what I enjoyed about this one? So, folks, if you read volume 1, that's cool, but not necessarily needed. You know, the team does a pretty good job of kind of getting you caught up, you know, letting you know what had happened, you know. So it sets up the story nicely in that sense. Everything is explained basically from page 1 and on, right? You know, she's on the run. She killed this director of this, you know, covert agency, and one of the dead director's proteges.
Yeah, proteges
is trying to set her up. You know, a couple different characters are killed, and they're trying to fill. Well, what's the connection? What is the setup? And then,
you basically the protege. You know, the director of the agency was killed. Gun Honey helped facilitate the killing. Let's be honest with that. She did her Gun Honey thing and helped facilitate the killing. And so now the protege is like wants revenge. So she quits the agency and she goes on this plot to frame Gun Honey for this murder. You know, right there. And I think the scene you're showing is when one of the guys who basically was he ran raves back in the day. He was a salesperson. His partner's the chemist. A rave went bad, but he got off and said, "Well, I just sold the stuff. I didn't have to do it." He became a legitimate pharmaceutical business guy.
Yes,
and it's his daughter, and Gun Honey is framed for killing his daughter by the rogue agent. And I like the rogue agent. I mean, you know, it made me think about that movie that came out last year, The Gray Man. You know, how some of these covert operatives, you know, directors like, well, let me find a kid that's messed up that nobody's gonna care, but they may have the potential to be put in this line of work. And they kind of alluded that with James Bond, at least in I think Skyfall, like, hey, we picked you because you were an orphan, and we can mold you, but we want to mold you into being a killer.
Yeah, definitely. You know what? Speaking of fan casts, you know who I pictured in my head for that rogue, the protege, the rogue agent? Is the actress who plays Sharon Carter in Winter Soldier. I think her name is Emily Van Camp.
Yep,
Emily Van Camp. Like that.
She would be good. She would be good. The only thing I noticed was the rogue agent was very muscular. So I thought about Ronda Rousey. I thought about Ronda Rousey. That's who I thought about. So well, maybe Ronda Rousey could do it.
Ronda Rousey. Okay.
You know, because Ronda Rousey wasn't she in? She was in the last Fast and the Furious movie, I think.
Was she really?
Yeah, she was in as a bodyguard, I think. Well, she had a fist fight with Michelle Rodriguez.
I don't keep up with those films, man. This was I included this scene here because there's a point where Gun Honey gets captured. She's in like Milan, and then she escapes, but she's like naked or barely wearing any clothing, right?
Yeah, but she still gets away.
She still gets away, and there's this great line, folks. The writing in this series, it really is fun. It's great. What's her? So she ends up robbing a nun for her robes or whatever,
and she's like, "It's their job to forgive me."
She'll forgive you. It's her job.
It's her
job.
Know,
it just gems like that, man. I love the cinematic feel to this book. You know, different international settings. Like you got
definitely that, and certainly that's why I say, I mean, the way Netflix is operating now, I felt this would be a perfect name for Netflix because Netflix has done this a couple times. Like, oh, we're gonna have this international crew of people traveling the world doing this stuff, and you know, somehow they, up until recently, been able to afford it. You know, nowadays, I don't know.
I think this would be like a wicked Netflix series. You know, did you also get like that cinematic kind of feel to the story and to the flow?
Definitely that, man. And then, you know, I really enjoyed it because, like I said, it seems simple, but it's not. You really do have to pay attention to follow it. It will hold your attention. It's not just, you know, TNA. It's not just TNA. It's not just gratuitous violence. That's what it seems like, but it's not. There's actually a story, you know, it's constantly like, you know, we're playing chess, not checkers. It's always an illusion we're playing chess.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that's a good point to bring up. I think a book like this can be overlooked or just kind of mistaken for, oh, it's just kind of like a TNA type book or just like, you know, action and this and like, it's actually a book that's kind of, it's engrossing, you know, like you have to pay attention. There's this great and fun mystery and premise and all that stuff. So yeah, definitely, man, you know, lots to enjoy about this one. Look at that.
I mean, like this helicopter scene right here. They were talking, oh, how you gonna get on a moving, you know, this bus that's moving? I'm like, she's like, we could do this, we could, you know, but they get the more practical solution. Yeah, we don't have time for that. So.
Yeah, I enjoy 𝐬𝐭𝐚𝐲's art and colors. As for, do a great job, man.
Yeah, I mean, 𝐬𝐭𝐴 did a great job on this, man. You know, I mean, the whole team, and I've already looked it up. I was like, there's going to be a Gun Honey, a third series. I'm like, are they doing a trilogy? And they said they're basically going to, you know, now that they're on the run, they're going to have to find another female to help them. And I'm like, okay, that sounds intriguing.
Yes.
So I'm like,
yes, that's right. So the third Gun Honey volume is dropping at the end of 2023. But before that, in the summer, they've got a spin-off.
Right.
Another character. And I should have marked down I don't know the name of that spin-off. But yeah, it's scheduled to drop pretty soon. Yeah, like I think it's called Collision Course.
Collision Course. Okay.
Collision Course. Yeah. It's about this person who she's the one who's going to try to help Gun Honey and now Brooke, who are on the lam, on the run, kind of elude the authorities, man. Yeah, like some, you know what I enjoyed is they had some really great set pieces, these fantastic locales and locations, right? You know,
right.
Like you had that cool opening scene, the castle / mansion. You had the Milani kind of torture warehouse. You know, the moving bus that we had shown, and then actual like a movie set in Malaysia. I think it was in issue 1. They're running through the movie set, which is pretty cool. So just folks, I think this is a book that you guys are gonna get a kick out of. I mean,
especially if you like, you know, crime, spy stuff, you know. Like I say, it looks one way, but it's better than it looks. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, I enjoyed the reveal. Like, okay, so she's getting, you know, because at first, just like you reading, you're like, okay, well, why is she killing these people? Then you realize, wait a minute, that's not her killing these people. Well, who's doing it? Why are they doing it? What's the connection? What's the mystery behind it? And I love this scene in particular, when they were in the same place getting ready.
Yeah, I think this is the end of issue 3, and then I'm not even going to show you guys anything from issue 4 because I don't want to spoil it. Just pick this one up. Pick up this beautiful trade, man. Again, man, this is great.
And I'll say this too. I mean, Sergio, I think the ending was believable because I mean, you know, the villainess, the rogue agent. I mean, I totally believe she would do something like that at that point. Because, like, you know, seemed like she had a hard life and you had nothing to live for. You know, hey, let's go out and bang.
Absolutely, man. And lots of extra goodies in the trade paperback, folks. So definitely recommend it. Easy to digest, right? And then it's got like the neat, all the different cover galleries, which they put out like 100 different covers for these 4 issues, which is great.
Man, that's money for people like you, man. I talked to Elle about that last week. I was like, man, y'all be spending this money for these variant covers. So I'm like, yeah. You see how I you know, when I came back from my trip, I probably had my biggest pull ever. And I'm like, man, and then I had probably one of my smaller pulls last week. I'm still recovering. Oh,
okay. Yeah. Any final thoughts on this one, bud?
I definitely recommend it, man. I definitely recommend it. I might have been thrown off, you know, because I'm more of a superhero. Superhero is probably my first genre. Then probably, you know, horror, sci-fi is my second.
Okay.
You know, I'm not really the biggest chicks in broad bikinis and stuff like that reader, you know, but this was good. This was actually well written. The art is great. Colors are fantastic. I definitely can see this being a series. I'd recommend it. Yeah.
Well said. Agreed. And I got one final here. Like any great pulp noir, lots of moral ambiguity. You know, these characters, they're not as simple as, you know, good guy versus bad guy, right? So if you're a pulp noir fan, must cop, I think, man. Titan Comics, Hard Case Crime Comics, man. Definitely check this one out.
Because I'm happy to see something from Titan. Like I said, most of my Titan stuff I buy is Doctor Who stuff, so I'm happy.
Yeah.
Because Hard Case Crime is like their crime imprint, right? You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely look for more titles for them off of this.
Hey, buddy, you know we're on the
Titan. We on the Titan list now,
man. We're getting those Doctor Who, you know, advanced review copies, man.
Send them my way, man. You know, you're gonna get me to do a byline or something, man. You're gonna get me to do a review.
Or even just they're there for you to check out, man. You know, you're part of
I know, man.
You don't have to write something up, just
I'll write something. I mean, you know, for things I'm interested in.
Yeah. Hey, before we get out of here, Marklin, I almost forgot. I wanted to do an FOC.
Yeah, we did. That's the last time we talked about the sickness, man.
The sickness. Did we do the sickness already?
We did do the sickness. Yeah, we're gonna talk about it.
Okay.
So we right on track.
Number 1. Here we go, folks. This one is from Jenna Cha Lonnie Nadler. They got co-writing duties, and then Jenna Cha is also the artist on this, and then lettered by Hassan Otsman Alhau. And he's not, I don't think he was in the live chat with us anymore, but Justin is writing up an advanced review dropping tomorrow morning on the houseofnerdshow.com.
I need to check that out because I'm curious to see what Justin had to say about it. I'm curious because I think this is the first time I've actually had a chance to read something and then I can see the review of it from the House of Nerds site. So I'm looking forward to that. I'll check that out. Justin has.
Get a different perspective, man. So this one, folks, well, before I get into, check out that sick variant cover on the right there. Oh man, what is the artist's name? Let me pull that up. I'm drawing a Shatari was it Shatari Kango?
That sounds about right, you know.
Yeah, but it's crazy. So I'm gonna hit you guys with one last premise before we get out of here. All right, man. Because this one, folks, honestly, I'm telling you right now, it's unlike anything that's on the stands these days, man. I was like blown away. So this is kind of the byline here. Feeling sick, the man may be following you. 1945, Daniel Buss, an anxious teenager living in small town America, has been experiencing strange symptoms, mood swings, increased sensitivity, and terrifying hallucinations, threatening to ruin his summer vacation before freshman year. Wears a stalking presence, watches Daniel's every move. Then in 1955, you've got George Brooks, a war vet and tireless doctor, nears retirement from his decorated past when a local housewife murders her entire family. Her son, the sole survivor, is put into his care. George grows obsessed with uncovering what could drive an ordinary person to such brutality. Though they live a decade apart, their fates intertwine through a horrifying illness, and the haunting figure follows wherever they go. That's the synopsis. Now I'm gonna give you guys in brief.
Okay, I'm gonna hear what you say because I had no idea what the synopsis was about. I wanted to this completely cold, so I'm gonna hear what you're gonna say.
Yeah. Listen, guys. Unsettling is the best way. Unnerving, a slow burning nightmare fuel kind of read where the sense of dread is just dripping off the pages, man. From the art to the absolutely the definition of atmospheric read. Again, just this build up, this slow burn, and it is a dense read. There's a lot of exposition, but it's done in a way that every element of this book, from the lettering to the art to the dialogue, it just adds to this kind of this building sense of like this uneasiness, man. It's tough. It's almost tough to put into words, Marklin.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. It's tough to put into words.
It just has to be experienced, bud. Just pick up this book.
It has to be experienced. I like that.
It does, though. I think, for me, I can't really compare it to anything else.
I think that's fair. I mean, I would say this much. Like I said, I went into a cold. I didn't know what it was about.
Mm-hmm.
It is dense. The first thing I noticed was like the art is phenomenal in this. I mean, I was like, wow, this is some of the best art I've seen in comics this year. Even with the panels and stuff you're showing right now.
Yeah.
Even that, the little kid in the right-hand panel, how you can see the streaks his hand. I like, this is very detailed art. I will tell you, it is exposition heavy, and I did not get it the first time. The first time I tried to read it, I had to stop. I said, I don't get what's going on here. And then I thought, well, we're going on the shows. I got to finish it. I was okay. Okay. And your synopsis put it more in perspective. But I would say, if you're a fan of horror movies, like the OG Exorcist or the OG The Crazies and stuff like that, those 70s horror movies that had atmosphere to them, that's what it reminds me of. And especially in the wake of coming out, I saw Evil Dead Rises this weekend. Okay. And I'm like, I like it. I think it was a good movie. Not a great movie. I like it though, but I'm like, it starts out with that atmosphere, like, oh, let's show you how creepy this place is. Let's show you how messed up everything. And then we get to the point where the action starts. I feel like this book's the same way. It's setting atmosphere. I feel like we are transported back to the 1940s, especially the way that the kids are talking to each other. And I think that may have been hard for me because I'm like, hey, I wasn't born in that era. They not using hip hop slang or anything like that. But they're using slang for their era.
Yeah, and that's a great point. Because this is set in the 1940s and 1950s, and so the book, it feels genuine from the dialogue to the art. Like the art, like it's like this fully kind of this realized, this fully lived in world that Jenna has created. Like the art is great. Like, look at this, man. Like it feels like you're on the streets, during this time period, 1945, right? Like the design is great, the dialogue, I can imagine it sounds, like something, like the old timey talk or whatever, however you want to put it. But yeah, just great stuff, man. Again, like Nightmare Fuel, like some of these panels, like just freak me out, man. This is great stuff. FOC, folks, is Monday, April
23rd.
Is it 23rd tomorrow?
No, 24th is tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah. So in any case, Monday the 24th, FOC for this one. Be sure to order. You can see the diamond code there. The ordering code is in the description of this video as well. I think Lonnie and Jenna and the whole team, man. They've got something unique here, man, to say the least.
Right. I mean, it is definitely creepy. It's definitely horror atmosphere. It is definitely, the art is on there. Like I said, if I had to knock anything, it's exposition heavy. I will say that threw me out, especially but it's a credit to them because it is. I feel like I'm listening to some 1940s kids talk. I really did.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Who's the publisher on this, Sergio?
Thank you, buddy. Uncivilized Books, which is my first time I've heard of them. But I'm going to be checking out their other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think I saw this is this going to be a 14 issues?
Yeah, 14 issues. Oh, and I included this. I think this is great. Check out Lonnie's Twitter.
Okay, that's it right there. It's slow burning. It's historical. It's black and white.
Yeah. And he's just kind of talking about how important it is for a book like this to kind of be successful. This is what happens when you're kind of given free reign and full creative freedom, right? To do what you want. This is an atypical book, from the structure, to the story and everything. I don't think this is something that you'd get on one of the bigger labels, but it's like I said, something like not like anything I've ever read. Check it out. I think it'll be worse.
I mean, I will say I do feel like when we get to the end of it, it's going to be something special. I will say that because I mean, this is interesting. I feel like, especially after we come out of Evil Dead, it's like, all right, this is a horror movie right here. Yeah, and it's the beginning of the horror movie. It's the calm before a storm. It's creating that atmosphere, and you can feel how unnerved the young boy and doctor are. Like something's not right. It is scaring me.
Chef's kiss. The definition of atmosphere, the whole guys, you're gonna feel something with this one. I feel like, man. FOC, pre-order this bad boy. Let's support these dope creatives, man. Hey, Marklin, it's about that time, baby.
I know, man. We had
we're pushing 2 hours. Jeez.
I mean, but usually when you and I do it, we be 2 hours, and I think last week we may have went over 2 hours. I don't know because then we had to. After discussion, I think one of my clients had called me and I had to back out at the last minute. Oh, shit. I was like, my people calling me. Let me see what's going on here.
Hey man, thank you to everybody for sticking around for as long as you guys did. Hope you enjoyed that.
You got a Legion ring on, man.
Hey,
look at you. Legion. Boom. Long live the Legion, bro.
Yes, sir. Legion of Superheroes members. Remember right there, baby. Come on, you don't got a Legion ring?
I don't have a Legion
ring. It's a must, man.
I mean, hey, man, and I wasn't a Legion fan growing up, but my when I got to college, a lot of my people, I hung around a lot of older guys, and they were like, man, you know about the Legion suit? I remember one of my homies, once again, Marcus from Chicago, he gave me the Great Darkness Saga. He's used to read the Great Darkness Saga. Okay. And see how messed up it is. And it was messed up, especially the end, with the baby who ended up becoming Validus and stuff. I was like, God dang, that is messed up.
And it hooked you as a Legion fan, eh?
Yeah, man. I think Legion lost is when I finally committed to joining the Legion. Before that's been retconned by now, or an alternate timeline. Where Element Lab went crazy and they got lost in the past or another universe. That's classic Legion for me.
Okay, you like the classic. Hey, before we get out of here, I wanted to ask you. I wanted to give you the opportunity. Anything else you read this week? What did you enjoy? Do you have a top 3 or anything you want to touch on?
You know what? I'm still going through my stack. The only thing I think I did want to shout out, because I posted on both my Twitter and TikTok, Cody Ziegler and Federico Vincentini run on a Miles Morales Spider-Man. I'm really enjoying that. A lot of people are complaining about Spider-Man, the current run by Zeb Wells, and this whole what happened there. Everybody pissed at Peter Parker. Look at that. Your background got it, but I see it.
Yeah.
Are you pushing Double Nightfall?
Yeah. So the Spider-Man run is dope, you're saying, bud?
The Cody Ziegler, Federico Vincentini, Miles Morales Spider-Man. It just started 5 issues. That's good. I mean, the artist, I think you'll love the art because the art is very kinetic, moves very quickly. The story is good. I like they got Misty Knight in there as well as a mentor to Miles Morales. Anytime I see Misty Knight getting some shine, I'm gonna go over that.
Okay.
DC. Right now, I just said Batman Incorporated issue number 7 because I think we finally get some, Ghostmaker's running this team of Batman, associated heroes, and he basically has a chance to kill all the Batman villains, and he passes on. And it shows he tells Nightwing if this Bruce got y'all trained in this game and let people live, I could kill them all right now. We'd be done with it. And whatever happens on your hand, he tells the Nightwing, and the end of the issue is kind of you see what happens when they kind of eventually escape. And I'm like, okay, that shows a different perspective because Batman shouldn't kill. He shouldn't kill. But are these people causing more havoc because he didn't kill them?
Okay, who's writing that one?
Ed Bryson, I think, is writing that one.
Oh, really?
Yep. And
Ed Bryson, really? I didn't know. I had no idea.
Batman Incorporated, issue number 7. Ed Bryson and Michelle Bandini is on art. And I didn't get a chance to say this last week. I don't know when it came out, 8 Billion Genius, the conclusion. Did you see that?
Did I see that, sir? Sir. Come on now.
All right.
I disappeared.
You disappeared. 8 Billion Genius.
There we go. Yeah.
I think that is one of the best conclusions to a series I've seen in a long time, man. Have you read it yet?
Really? Wow.
I think it is. I like that it was only 8 issues because considering, I think, what was the one, letter 52 or letter 47, whatever he had, letter 42. It reminds me of that, but that ran much longer. I think Charles Soule kind of I'm gonna do shorter. Shorter is better for me.
Okay.
And I'm curious to see I think Amazon Prime is the series for that. I'm curious to see what they do with that.
Yeah, they're doing. I heard that. Yeah, they got a series in the works. And then, so what did you think? What did you think of the final wish?
Final wish.
Yeah.
I thought the final wish was beautiful, man. I thought it was beautiful.
Really? Okay.
Because I can wonder, what are they gonna wish for? What are they gonna wish for? What are they gonna wish for?
Right.
I think the final wish was beautiful. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Okay. So it's very much stuck the landing for you then, eh?
It stuck the landing for me. I think this and Do a Powerbomb, indie wise, both stuck the landing for me.
Okay. All right. Man. Yeah. I picked it up. I've still gotta catch up on the last couple, but
yeah. That's a good. I would say 8 Billion G's is a good series to just sit down on a Sunday afternoon and read. It's it's relaxing, it's good, it's engaging. I think Charles Soule is also doing with Undiscovered Truth, Undiscovered Country. He's doing that, which I still enjoy. It's running a bit long now, but I'm still enjoying it.
Undiscovered Country? No, that's Scott Snyder, bud.
I thought it was him and Scott Snyder doing that.
Is he?
Yeah, it's definitely doing that.
Yeah, you might be right. I didn't realize it.
Because Scott Snyder's also doing Nocturne with Tony. What's his name, right?
Tony Daniels. Yeah. I got that one here too. Where's it?
Yeah. I just caught up on Nocturne.
Yeah.
As well.
What do you think?
I like it. I like it. I'm just curious to see what's going to happen.
Yeah. Nocturne's been fucking dope, man. Yeah. That just fun. Very, very interesting stuff, man.
And apparently there's gonna be a show on that too. I see that now in the Hollywood Reporter. Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? Nocterra too?
Yeah.
Oh man, I hadn't heard that. I think
it's gonna be on Netflix.
Man, comics, a lot of shows.
Basically, it makes sense. But the only thing we're doing now is these streaming services are starting to cut back because now that we're, I guess, somewhat out of the pandemic, people are not staying at home consuming content as they once were.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. We've already talked about Zaslav and HBO Max and all this stuff, and now it's about to be known as Max when they complete the merge with Discovery. Discovery Plus. It's gonna be just Max from here on out.
Oh, I did see that. Yeah, they're dropping the HBO Max. It's just Max now. Okay.
And so you had stuff like Evil Dead and House Party that were supposed to be on HBO Max that have been released to theaters.
Mm-hmm.
House Party probably may have been better served being on HBO Max, but Evil Dead probably did deserve to be in the theater. And we all still mad about Batgirl getting cut completely. I'm like, y'all might let us see that.
That was crazy. But we got some heat coming up. We got the Blue Beetle coming out.
I knew you were saying, I said, your Blue Beetle coming out though, and it looked good, especially that scene with the Beetle got on him. And they were all, I said, that's how I would actually react if the Beetle jumped on me.
Definitely. I think from the trailer anyways, trailers can be, um, I don't want to say deceiving, but you know, you don't know what you're gonna get. A trailer's a trailer, but it looked like they nailed the tone of Blue Beetle. It looks great, man. So I'm excited. And then honestly, Michael, what I'm like just dummy hyped for is the Flash. That movie looks like it's gonna be absolutely this epic, incredible comic book movie. I'm like beyond hyped for that one, man.
I mean, to hear James Gunn speak so strongly about it, I think, which I was like, oh, he commented on it, okay, because he loves Shazam, Fear of the God, I Did It Die, which I'll say this much, and you know, people are like, oh, you like it? I said, well, I enjoyed it for what it was, because you know, I like Shazam, Captain Marvel, the OG people, but you know, he has been a B-C list character for a while, and I enjoyed it. I mean, I enjoyed the family feel of it. I enjoyed Helen Mirren and Lucy Lewis, the villains. I mean, I enjoyed it. You know, it was a matinee movie for me. All right, and I enjoyed it. I like paid with $8, $10 to go see it. I'm okay. You know, it's a matinee movie for me. You know, I hate how people tearing and stuff. Oh, it's terrible and blah 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 blah. I'm like, man, did you enjoy it?
Yeah. You know,
take your mind off your problem for a couple hours.
Surprising. I love the first Shazam, Marklin. But I still haven't watched the sequel. Life's been hectic, been crazy, but and it's already on streaming. It was on streaming less than a month after it came out in theaters.
Yeah.
But I think I don't even know if it's still I think I'd like to watch it for the first time.
I mean, my recommendation is watch both of them back to back. Because I think there's really some movies are just like a continuation of each other. And I think it's definitely a continuation of the first one. Like, all right, we set this up in the first one, and here are the problems that came as a result.
Right. Yeah, no, I got
the next movie you're gonna see too. So
I got lots to catch up on. Yeah, man. So you know, DC coming up with a lot of great stuff, man. Before one more time, bro. One more time. We did speak about Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to mess with.
There you go. The big homie Dave Chappelle, man. Hey, Marklin, thank you so much for joining. You know,
it's a pleasure, my friend.
Great time talking, man. You know, we got into folks. Check out the show. Wu-Tang, Gun Honey, The Sickness, all 8 eyes, man. We spoke a lot about it. A lot of dope comics, man. Thanks for hanging out with us. And we're back next Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern. Where's that outro? It's that time, baby. Thanks for watching. Please remember to hit that subscribe, that like, all that good stuff. We out of here, my man.